Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Commission Breath. Brandon Love and Tom Moffat here. We were just saying it feels like it's been a little while since we've got on together and kind of done a more structured episode. Maybe you haven't noticed this on your side of things because you're still seeing the content roll out. But for us, we've been sharing a little bit more of our training. We've done some one-offs here and there. So it's good to get back together and jam on this podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like it's been a while, but I think even 2 episodes ago was you and me recording. I think last episode was training preview episode, but it feels like a while because sometimes we batch our content. So we might be a little rusty today, but we've got a good one for you. We've got some pretty cool tactics that we use in order to get applications and documents in faster from clients. So we're going to read them out here and go tactic by tactic. And maybe we'll have you start out with the first one, Brandon.
Yeah, so I've beat this over the head in several episodes, but I can't stress it enough. And that is to show your clients the roadmap. So tell them what the journey is going to look like. Share the key milestones. Make sure they know every step. Number one, you don't want them looking on Google and searching for answers. You want to be the source of information. Number two, it saves a lot of back and forth for them asking questions to you. And just in my business, and I was sharing this with Tom before we started recording, I'm getting even more granular on this than we already are. If you're a listener, you know we have like the progress tracker. I'm putting together a sheet right now that's going to go to clients after the discovery call, sharing every step of the process. So discovery call, it'll show like a check there, the key information, application, what we need, documents, everything in there from like lawyer appointment, sharing about bank updates. So if things change, like let's say you place them with Scotia in the bundle program, now you have to have that branch appointment. You just update that document, send it back to them, and it tells them what they need and why it's important to their mortgage.
If I had to guess, were you inspired by the onboarding checklist that we made for Tango? Is that how you thought of that?
You know what? I've historically been like a notebook, spreadsheet kind of guy, but working with you, I've started doing more systems and I'm seeing the value of it. And it's kind of bleeding into my life and business. So I've got like all these like stupid fucking checklists. They're not stupid, but I'm like a checklist guy each night. And I just find like I can finish my day and really feel like I've done enough. Where sometimes I used to feel like, hey, I could always do more. And I was like staying up all hours of the night trying to squeeze a little bit outside of the day. Now I set like my non-negotiables. I set my minimum, but I have systems behind each one. And it feels like I've kind of checked my own progress bar. So for me, like I'm an ADHD person, that really gets my like dopamine check mark going. So I'm like, hey, if this works well for me, a client's going to feel the same feeling on their end.
Just a couple system guys now, eh?
Yeah.
Love it.
I was telling you to dial in the one spreadsheet today, and you're like, motherfucker, like the roles reversed. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know how it feels on the receiving end.
Yeah.
Fucking anal prick. I'll never forget the time that you told me that you wanted me to space after the hyphens. After I put my hyphen in, to this day, I do it now because you were so angry about it that I was like, oh, maybe I should.
Yes. I'm kind of a nightmare with OCD with that kind of stuff, but details matter. Details matter in this instance.
They do. And the reason why I asked you is whether you got it from the onboarding checklist or not is because I find like I steal inspiration from one business to the other. And for our client journey on the onboarding side for Tango, I pretty much just took what we were doing on the mortgage side and created milestones for the agent and broker to follow. And we've got really good feedback on that. So you don't have to draw inspiration just from the mortgage industry when we talk about these different types of things. Like it can be from any industry for that matter. So why don't you go on to the second point here?
Yeah, second point kind of ties into this roadmap, but explain the why. So for those of you who are parents, you understand this. If you tell your kids to do something, maybe they'll do it if you have good listening kids, but a lot of the times they don't. I find it's really helpful if you explain why you need to do this. So like pack your bag for the cottage. Okay, that's a pain in the ass task. Why should you do it? Because you don't want to forget your stuffies and your toy you want to play with there. So give it like some incentive to them as to why they should do it. It's the same thing with clients. Like Clients don't want to upload a bunch of documents. It's tedious, it's boring, it's another task to add to their already busy schedules. But I explain the why. It's like, hey, I'm going to ask you for your 2024 pay stub and your last 2 years T4s. The reason for this is I can potentially draw out more income that allows you to qualify for more mortgage and help you accomplish your goals faster. So then they have the incentive of, okay, if Brandon's asking for this. My bank didn't ask for this necessarily, but he's asking for it because it's strategic and beneficial to me. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to explain why they're doing it in the first place. Otherwise, they're left confused and they might not think it's important. Then maybe they get you half their documents. Then you got to circle back, take time out of your day to then go back. And that's the whole point of this episode, is to really save you time, the broker, and also have a higher conversion rate for clients actually getting you the application and documents after the discovery call. So,
yeah, exactly. And getting that element of detail in, like a full progress bar. Like, I hate underwriting a file with partial documents. I'll tell my clients, like, I have a
yeah.
no doc, no talk policy. If you're not going to send me stuff, I'm not going to work on the file. It's just a waste of my time. But then clients are like kids as well. They'll go to the other parent, which is like the realtor partner, FA, whoever is the referral source, to be like, yeah, I met with Brandon, but no progress has been made. And then sometimes the realtor will just say, okay, maybe he's busy or like maybe whatever. But a lot of them, like, I've established relationships, they'll call me and check in. I'm like, no, they sent me like one pay stub from 2021, a random ass document that doesn't even help the file. So they're not meeting their end of what we need to do our job. So they know that. I've been very clear on what I'm requesting, and it just makes the whole transaction clear to all parties of what the expectations are. You can't expect a client to give you the perfect document package if you're not outlining what you need and why you need it.
That could have easily been a seventh point, is loop in the referral partner, because I find like when you do that, it's amazing how magical it is when these documents start flying in, because the realtor just has a bigger pull, to be quite honest, with a lot of clients. So usually that's how that goes down when you loop in the referral partner. And one way you can do that is just by having regular updates. Like we used to do the, oh, what do we call it? I can't even remember now. Lead tracker. We did lead tracker emails every week, and that actually helped. It was very, very time consuming, so we stopped doing it. But man, like if you really want your app and docs in and you want to stay top of mind with your referral partners, definitely add something like that in. And I think we did do an episode on that in the past.
Yeah, so that's your bonus point for today. But yeah, get that realtor, get that referral partner pressure on them. Super beneficial. Also, it just shows the partner that you're staying on top of things. And another added bonus to that is it's a reason to call. So Monday to Friday, 10 to 11, we do our prospectors hours with all of our agents, and we're calling referral partners. We're looking for new business. And a lot of the times we're discussing, okay, what's a strategy for why I can call? Like, it's January 24th today. Why am I calling this person? I've already called them to wish them a happy new year. I've already called to see if they had any leads that came in on a weekend. Like, what's another reason why I would be calling again? And it's a quick update on where the referrals they've sent are at. And it just shows, hey, I value the referral you sent me. I'm staying on top of it. It's a transfer of trust that they're in good hands with me. And here's your update. Do with it as you please. If you want to follow up with them, great. If not, I'll give you another update in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's an easy reason to call right there.
All right. Next one is to set deadlines. And this ties into booking the next meeting as well. So I like to do these combined. Okay. So say Tom's my client. We do our discovery call. I say to Tom, okay, I'm going to need this application completed, and then I'll follow up with you on the documents I need. Tom's like, okay, I want to go look at a house on the weekend. Great.
And by the way, why is your rate 0.5% higher?
We're not having that conversation, Tom. But I'm going to say to Tom, okay, if you want me to do that, you need to have your documents into me by Thursday night. That gives me Friday morning to review, to give you an update on where things are at and kind of address any question marks we might have. If you get it to me at Friday at 10:30 p.m., don't expect me to have something for you ready Saturday morning for you to shop. That's not how we work. That's not the way we're going to play this game. So set the expectation, set the deadline, put it a couple days out, give them a little bit of time because people are busy. But then if they don't hit it, follow up with them. Is, hey, like, I want to work on your file. I want to get you ready to roll, but I don't have these X pieces. As you can see on your roadmap, We need that before we take the next step. You'd be surprised at how much people actually value that follow up. It's the same reason people hire like a personal trainer. They want someone to hold them accountable. And in this scenario, you are going to be that person. So set the expectation of when you want these things and need these things. And then you can also apply additional pressure by saying, okay, we're going to have your strategy call booked for next Wednesday. If you don't have the documents by next Monday, that appointment's getting canceled. So you can use that as well. It puts a milestone there for them if they want to make progress and there's someone who likes to achieve things, which most people do, they're going to be more motivated to get that done for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually think I used to do that back in the day when I had the two-pronged, like I would do this discovery call and a formal strategy call. So what you're saying is you're now bringing back the strategy call and you're not doing the Loom strategy that we do. You're doing a separate call now.
I'm still doing the Loom strategy. A lot of people say, okay, I want to have a follow-up call chatting about fixed variable, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to have a follow-up meeting, you have to have chunk one done. You're not getting to second base without hitting first.
So you're saying if they want to.
If they want to. These are tactics that I'm not necessarily using myself right now, but that people can throw into the mix if they're having issues with people not fulfilling their end of the transaction.
Yeah, that's an easy one. If you listener are someone that does that and you have the formal strategy call, I would do that all day.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
All right, Tommy Bahama, we're jumping to yours now. So why don't you kick us off with your first three?
I like to provide some incentives. So, I mean, the main one is I'll say on the discovery call, like we work as fast as you do. So once we have all documents in, the app and the documents, that's what triggers us to work on it. And we're very quick at what we do. We can have the pre-approval back to you within 24 to 48 business hours. And if it's a Thursday or Friday, and I kind of have a sense that they want to go shopping that weekend, like, look, like if you get me the app and docs in, like before the weekend, I'll get that pre-approval off to you. I still do sometimes work on the weekends, so I will fulfill that promise for them. And it just gives them more incentive to get it to me. And I'll say, I'll put it at the top of my list if you get those into me. And usually that always works.
For sure. And like a lot of us are still working on the weekend and we know we will do those things.
Yeah.
I like to under promise, over deliver there. I'm not going to look at it on Saturday morning, but hey, kid slept in, got around to looking at your file. That's going to wow the client that way. But yeah, those extra incentives of access and line bypass are all things that people value, like an extra incentive of like feeling elite almost if you give them that status, but they have to do something for it. They have to get their side of the deal done. It is a motivating piece. It's a human psychology there for sure.
Yeah, and don't offer this if it's like a B client that you know is going to be a stated income, like or bank statement program. Most of my clients are super easy to underwrite, like 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. So I will do that all day long. And for someone going into the weekend, I may not have the budget for them that weekend, but I'll at least say like, hey, I'll review everything. And if you want to put an offer in, like I'll let you know if you have the green light. The other incentive I have is really just showcasing the process on the discovery call. So I'll talk about the custom budgets and what we do there. And that usually gets them a bit excited for that, especially if they're like a teacher or engineer. They love the budgets. So I always definitely talk about that with them.
Nice. I like that. Something I just want to add here is a lot of the tactics and things we share, like some of them should be done all the time. It should just be part of your process, like showing the roadmap, explaining the why. That should be done for every client. But certain things are just tactics to use when you need to apply a little bit more pressure or when you feel like someone's falling off or losing momentum. So you don't need to do it with every client. Like don't get super aggro with someone who's getting you docs within like 12 hours. But if someone's brushing you off and like still trying to ask for like a rate update, be like, hey, this is what you need to get before we're even going to have that conversation. So don't do it to everyone, but put these in place when you have clients with a little bit of resistance to you.
Maybe I'm speaking a little too harshly, but like to give you an example, there was a couple of weeks ago, there was this one client that was just sending me like piecemeal documents and like literally the T1 came in with like 4 to 6 different emails with separate pages. Like it was a mess. I actually told him like, hey man, I can't proceed with this. Like I cut him off in a nice way, but maybe I'm speaking too harshly is what I'm trying to say here. So don't take everything I say, take it with a grain of salt with certain situations. But the second point I have here is make it easy for them. So again, this is going to be controversial, but I ask for less documents up front. So I don't ask for down payment documents most of the time. I ask these questions up front on the discovery call. I ask more in-depth questions on the down payment. And if I know it's going to be pretty straightforward, then I'll just hold off on getting the statements. And the bank statements, the investments statements, like those are usually the bottleneck for a lot of people. So I actually just hold off on those until it's a live deal, because you're going to need updated ones anyways.
Yeah, I'm the same with down payment docs. I ask a lot of questions to know where the money is, what account it's in. I also do that as a bit of research to know that if they have to go into their bank to get anything, what am I going to be up against? Like if they're like, oh yeah, all my money's in TFSAs with TD and RSP at TD, I'm like, okay, fuck, I'm going to put your file at TD or at least a pre-approval there, so I have some insulation that way. But if they're like, hey, I'm all on Questrade or I'm all here, I know how to get those documents. We don't really need to worry about it today. As long as the money's there, when push comes to shove, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, the less friction, the better. And I even explain how to upload the documents. I say, like, don't worry, you don't have to scan everything. If you want, you could just use your phone, take a picture, upload it through the portal there. Like, it's super easy. It converts it to a PDF. And I'm just showing that it is easier than they might think.
Yeah, and you can use tools like Finmo has auto request documents. I have that turned on for clients, but what I say to them is like, you're going to see the complete picture of what we need to get this funded. My expectation is that you upload X documents. So you're going to see like agreement of purchase and sale, MLS. Like that's not going to mean anything to you right now. What's going to mean something to you and to me and moving along here is pay stub, last 2 years T-Force. That's what I need right now.
Yep, exactly. The last point I have is just staying top of mind. And some of these strategies I'm starting to do today. The reason why you want to stay top of mind is for obvious reasons. If you're staying top of mind, it's going to be a reminder for them to get everything into you without you having to do the outreach and asking for it. So, two examples. The first example is, I've talked about this at length before, client journey drip campaign. I built one out that just runs automatically on autopilot for a total of 90 days once they've booked a call with me. So that is constant reminders there. And the second thing is, I'm now starting to add them on social media right after the discovery call. And that is keeping myself top of mind because I'm posting every day on my stories and in the feed as well.
Nice. I like that. I always get nervous about like the social media thing because I don't like to be too stalkery. But now that I'm starting to use social more, maybe I'll mix that in.
I did feel that way too. I think it's just more normal now. I think people just expect it, and you're a business owner. So I think it's less creepy, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm just used to doing it now, but I definitely felt that way at the start.
Yeah, well, give us some feedback there, guys, because I know we're following a lot of you right now and getting a lot of fantastic feedback from you, which has been really motivating for us and encouraging for us. All right. Yeah. So some tactics there today. You ended up with 7 because you got a bonus as well. So definitely implement some of that into your business. If you enjoy the Commission Breath podcast and you want even more of us, Tom and I run a brokerage, as I'm sure you're aware. And Monday to Friday, we have a prospectors hour and we finish that with training every day. So if you value this and you want more of it in your business, you are welcome to join us. We're not a fit for everyone. We will be the first ones to say that, but feel free to book a discovery call with us. We'll walk you through what we offer and what we excel at, and we can see if it's the right fit for you.
Yeah. And including everything we talk about here, all our resources like client journey, everything we give to our agents. So